So let's go over what we have. We have our potatoes, of course. Have my cutting board secured with a wet paper towel. I just need a small one because, again, I don't need a big one. I'm not cutting up meat where I'm trying to whatever. So anyway, so I have 2 knives out. Whatever. My potato peeler. I really like this potato peeler. I don't remember what the brand is. I've had it that long. Now I have a big bowl to put, just to keep the potatoes from browning until I can cut them up and get them in jars. I like to keep them in a bowl of water, keeps them from browning, and a garbage bowl. So that way I'm not constantly going over to the trash to whatever food scraps. So that just makes it a lot easier. Save some steps unless you need to do some steps or something. But anyway, so first of all, we're going to just peel our potatoes. And yes, I know a lot of old school people use a paring knife, but I'm having an arthritis flare up today, so we're going to do it the easy way. Or if this is the way you prefer it, or you can do it that way. Whichever way is best for you. I can see now that this is going to be my preferred method today. Again, the flare up. And pretty sure everybody understands how to peel a potato, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we got all those cut up and they're all pieces, but yay big. I'm gonna do some pints and some quarts. I've never done pints before. I usually do quarts, but it's nice to have a few pints on hand. If you just need a little bit of something, Anyway, so there's no special way to do this. You're just gonna, the water's going. I had to put this in the fridge for a while and go to town, so now it's ice cold. Oops. Just gonna shake it down, get it in there really good. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this is another batch. This is a batch of chicken that I'm doing over here that I'm canning right now. And if you see, the steam is starting to come up steady. So, I'm going to give it hope you can see it. I'm going to do a close-up of that later. But I think I have it on another video. I may attach it to this, but I'm going to try to do a close-up. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to bring you around. Oh, don't mind the mess. You can see anyway. So what we're gonna do when that starts steaming, it's starting to steam, but it's not like a steady stream yet. So that's what you're gonna start looking for. But it's gonna just like a steam engine on a steam train or something. It's really gonna start going up there in a minute. Okay, so pints right there. Got those filled up. Now I'm going to start filling up the quarts. Again, mostly I do quarts, but I wanted to try some pints this time just to see if it's worth it. Because this doesn't make a whole lot, because some of it is going to cook down. You're going to have about this much of the bottom that, disintegrated, if you will. That's normal. But also, something that I do different, and this is not FDA, USDA, or anything approved. It's a little bit of rebellious streak I have. Any canning book will tell you to fill it with water. I do not. I prefer to do what's called dry canning, and that's only with potatoes. And the reason why I do it with potatoes is I know for a fact that it's going to be at least 240 degrees. That's the whole purpose of pressure canning, is to get your food inside the jar to at least 240 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's because that would kill any botulism spore that could be in the jar. So, but this has been, I'm not going to say proven. They haven't done enough research on dry canning them to say that it's okay to do it. But I do it, and we've been eating them like this for about 4 years now and never had an issue. So, but I wanted to try some pint ones, so I got the pint ones done with the wide mouth because it's solid food, so it'll be easier to get it out. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit because it's getting a little crazy there. Still got 7 minutes left on that before I put the weight on. So let's get busy putting some more potatoes in jars here, shall we? Okay, we'll bring that to the front. And again, it's going in there dry, so I'm just going to reach on my hand. My hands are clean. Besides, this is our food anyway. It's not yours. So, but I'm a compulsive hand washer anyway, so there's that. Probably why my hands are always chapped and dry, right? So anyway, hello. Did that go in the jar? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just gonna shake it down. Ooh, this water's cold. And it's really not necessary to put, it's just potatoes, but I put it there just to get it started so they don't fly everywhere. I'm gonna wipe it anyway. And it's not raw meat or broth where it's super oily, so if you don't want to, it's not the end of the world. It just helps me keep from losing them. I don't know if you can see right there. There's the steady stream. It looks like you can see it on the camera pretty good now. See the steady stream is going to be going like that. That's what you want before you put your before you set your timer. So I'm just glad you can see it a little bit better now. Ooh, that's a little much. And over here, some of these. I kind of like to do that to get them done so they stay. But yeah, the funnel for the potatoes is mostly just because it helps corral them a little better into the jar. Oh my goodness, this water is huge. Feel free to wear gloves. Sometimes I do. Like if I got a bunch of stuff going on and I'm handling raw meat, I'll put some plastic gloves on. That way I can take it off real fast. You know, like you got to use your phone or, you know, just be like that sometimes. Oh, this water is cold. C-O-L-D. I'm not sure how many quarts. I'm almost done with this bowl, so I know I'm going to get... I've got another smaller bowl that warmed up on fire, right? Anyway. I might get 6 quarts out of this. Kind of looks that way. That'll be nice for a little low. We went back on keto and now I'm canning potatoes, but this will be for when we're not on keto. So there's that. My son's not on keto, so he can have them. This is good, like if I gotta make a lunch real quick and I have an entree, and he loves like just pan roasted potatoes, and they're already done. You just gotta season them and like throw them in the skillet real quick and good to go. helping that it's cold outside. Yeah, I think we're gonna get probably 5 quarts is all we're gonna get. Oh crap. Okay. And the potatoes don't have to be dry, like you don't have to pat them dry, just don't add liquid. There'll be a little liquid in there. Okay. That is not enough for a pint or a quart, so I may just cook this for my son for later. And have some fresh potatoes. Get that right there. Can you see that? Does that help? Okay, there we go. And at this moment, I don't remember if I put vinegar, if I told you that I put vinegar in the can or not, but always do a splash of vinegar. It'll keep from hard water deposits on the outside of your jar. It doesn't hurt anything if you don't do it, but it just makes them look prettier. So now, we are just going to clean the rims off. And again, just dab it in vinegar a little bit and go around. I don't put salt and pepper in my potatoes, and I don't because I want a blank slate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm gonna, unless it's something specific, I never know what I'm gonna do with them, so I like to keep it just plain Jane and just add the seasonings later. Even though it's cooked, you can always add the seasonings later. Because usually I do these for like hash browns in the skillet, on a Sunday morning with a nice omelet. Just kind of got an assembly line going. I mean, you can do one jar at a time, put the lid, then the ring, however you do it. But I know I'm not going to get anything on there because nobody's here. I'm by myself, unsupervised. Oh dear. And again, just to make sure, I know I said it, but kind of take both sides and clean it that way with the vinegar paper towel. That way you get both sides. I think it's only required to do it around the top, but I like to be extra sometimes. So keep going. It's going to be a while before I can get to that canner, so I can go and have these done, and they'll be ready to go. And just remember, kind of double check when you're cleaning the rim, just double checking for little nicks or whatever, because that will absolutely compromise your seal. Absolutely will. And it also gives you and since I'm doing 2 different things at the same time, it also gives me a chance to make sure my mat is out to put the hot jars on when I take them out. You never want to put it straight on the counter when you're taking them out of the jar. And that's because, depending on especially how cool it is in your house that day, it could crack the jars on the bottom. So it's best not to do it. Best not to do. Last jar. So again, just just so we can see how to do it. My magnet. One lid. Place it on there. Put a ring on. And remember, just fairly tight, because you need it a little loose so that way the air can escape and it'll seal. The ring is not what seals it. The ring keeps it from popping off. The actual lid is what does the sealing. That's why you have see the little rubber gasket, the little orange thing, that's a gasket. That's the actual part that does the sealing, not the ring. So you don't want the ring tight because then the air can't escape. Oxygen, whatever you call it. So I'm going to finish these up and then be back to you when it's time to start canning these. All right, so I got my 7 pints of potatoes in there. I already got the water starting to heat up. So I double checked my gasket. It looks great. So I didn't really do anything because I've been using it all day. So I don't think it's necessary to wash it and put oil on it. But this is the first time using it. You know, of course, oil the gasket. It's kind of like tires. They'll dry rot. So if you see this little arrow right here, you're going to match it up to the arrow. Oh, it's hard to see sometimes. To the arrow right there. Okay. And again, I've already put my splash of vinegar in there, so we're good to go. And all you do, bring it till it locks like that. Now, I've already got the heat up. So we're going to leave that there for a little bit, and I'm going to keep an eye on it until it starts steaming. And the same thing in the previous video, when there's a steady stream, then we're going to put the timer on for 10 minutes and do that. And I'll be right back. So I forgot to turn the timer on, but this has been venting steadily like this for at least 10 minutes now. Hopefully you can see that. See that? Yeah. Don't mind the hamburger meat over there. We're getting supper started too. So yeah, that's been going for 10 minutes. So it's time to put the weight on there. Remember, that's 10 pounds because we are under 1,000 feet. So once this starts rocking, I'm going to set the timer for, what are we doing, pints? We're going to do 35 minutes for pints and then 45 minutes for quarts. I think I said earlier 25 and 35, but I meant 35 for pints and 45 for for quarts. And so now we're going. So this is about the speed that you want your rocker to be going. Again, if it gets any crazier than that, that means your heat is too high. So just turn your heat down till it stays steady at that. Make sure this little pop-up valve back here is still up. That means that there's pressure. That means when this is up, means the pressure is in the canner. If you see this goes down, then that means you have no pressure in your canner and you're not doing nothing. So I'm going to set the timer. These are pints. So I'm going to set the timer for 35 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, that's the cue. we're just gonna wait till this stops rattling and that goes, the little pop valve goes down. And then we'll come back and check and see if that's went down, and then we can take the lid off. Moment of truth. Here we go. Okay, where are my mittens? Remember, safety first, always wear your mittens. So, remember what we're doing first. We are twisting it, then opening away from our face. Away from our face. Just like so. Set that to the side. Burn myself. Okay. And once again, just a reminder, we're going to lift straight up. We don't tilt or anything like that or swirl. And don't worry about if there's water sitting on top of the lid, don't worry about it. You can wipe that off later. Because if you tilt it any certain way, you're gonna compromise the seal that you just worked so hard to whatever. Okay. So there's one. Let me put it up here. Two. Look at that. How beautiful. Again, I don't put water in mine. I know you're supposed to, but this is the one time I go rogue with the instructions on canning. I don't like how, we don't like the texture of the potatoes when they're processed in water. They're too mushy, and then they won't hold up when you roast them in the pan or on the skillet. So, next. Usually I do quarts, but I wanted to try pints this time just to see. And a lot of them, I'm not suffering a lot of loss as far as turning to mush at the bottom. See, they're all still intact. Look how beautiful. Oh, did you hear that? That's how you know it's sealed, when you hear that. Straight up. See how I'm setting it on a pad? I use a dish draining pad instead of a towel. I just feel like it gives it a little extra padding. Look at that. Heck yeah. All right, y'all. One more. And then I am going to add some more water to this and put the quartz in. Anyway. But look at that. So I'm not going to show you how to do the quartz. It's the same thing. You just add 10 minutes. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Man. Awesome. Well, that concludes this. So I'm going to get started on putting the quartz in there. And then I'm going to add a few resources to the description of this video. I did the other one. But I'm just going to put my resources every time in the description in case someone doesn't want to have to go find a video for a link or something. So that being said, thank y'all. This has been a lot of fun for me so far. It's getting me out of my comfort zone as well. So anyway, I gotta get back to work. Love y'all. Bye. Okay, so for the potatoes, this is the ending product. You have to take the rings off and wash them. You just wash them with soapy water. No big deal. Make sure you take the rings off. That's important. And again, this is how you know the seal works. If you can do that, that means it works. And just for a point of reference, this is an older jar right here, and this is what the skin's on. This jar right here is 3 years old. Haven't even got to all of those yet. I haven't done them in 3 years, so that's probably why. So yeah, I mean, that's just a comparison shot. With the skin or without the skin, holds up the same. And you're always going to have a little bit of, I noticed the ones without the skin, they have a little bit more mush at the bottom. So I recommend to myself and everyone else, I think, leaving the skin on. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Thank you for watching.